How do? So it's about 5 weeks since I got back from doing West Island Way. Thought I'd do a quick debrief. Kit I took, what have you, bit about route. So I took the chest pod, which is ideal because you couldn't have to keep taking your rucksack on and off when you want to get to bits. So I kept my spare batteries in here, GoPro when I weren't filming. I've got a book in here that I took with me, read for about 10 minutes, so I didn't really need that. The Osprey Exos 58, first time I'd used that. This was brilliant. Took a new tent, the Lanshan 2, which I kept in front here in 2 separate bags. So when it was a bit dewy in the morning, me and her went in a separate bag so it didn't get wet. In the top, got my B3 water pump, water filter, didn't use it. Rab downpour, cagoule. Beinglas, deluge, bottoms, didn't need either of them because weather was brilliant. Rain cover again, not needed. Glasses, not needed, it's only read for 20 minutes. Flip-flops around camp, they come in handy. Now I carried me micro spikes with me because I thought I was going to do Ben Nevis the day after I finished, which I did. They came in handy at top, so a fair bit of snow still on top. Water bottles. I took normal water bottles, shop bought water bottles, but when I went to fill up at Beinglas campsite, water were cloudy at every tap I tried, so I bought these from shop. I don't know if it's a ploy, but I'm glad I did because obviously these are reusable. I take these with me all the time. Sit mat, didn't use it. Weather was that good, no need. Right, so I'll just fire tent up, show you tent. Right, so I use trekking poles anyway, so this tent was ideal to keep weight down. The fact that I could put it on outside as well if it did get wet. Luckily it didn't really, but if it did, it weren't going inside and wetting contents inside the bag. So what have we got in here? Right, so everything's in one of them Nyla Flume, whatever they're called, bags. Birdhouse jacket on an evening. I think I wore it one at mornings when it was still a bit cool. A Montane hoodie. Again, I didn't wear it a great deal because it was really nice weather. Took that, bought this, I've not used it yet. Soto field hopper, pop-up table. I didn't use it, so I carried that around for no reason. I think I probably just use that for one night, is when I'm maybe cooking a bit of food and what have you. So I didn't need that. Electronics. So that was pretty heavy, that. I think rucksack was about 14 kilograms without water. So it weren't too bad. But obviously electrics are heavy. I've got a couple of 20,000 milliamp, whatever they are, power banks. They obviously weigh a bit. Spare GoPro batteries, headlamp. What else? Flex tail pump. Got sleeping mat. And it's a lamp as well. Cook kit. So I've got Soto Windmaster. I didn't use it loads because I've got, as it turned out, I stopped where there were pubs and whatnot, so I ate quite a bit in pubs, just for like drinks, a couple of dehydrated meals, Lexada 1100 pot, 230 gas. The handle keeps dropping off. Toilet kit, didn't have to use it. Plenty of toilets, didn't have to dig any holes. Tent clothes, just a t-shirt and a pair of long johns for an evening. First aid kit, everything's in these bags from IKEA, the sound. Got a bag with odds and sods in, spare lace, Swiss Army knife, tissues and whatnot. Wash kit, microfiber towel, wet wipes, soap and shampoo. That was my spare kit, so I've got a spare t-shirt, spare set of down tufts and a spare set of Injinji toe liners. That will kept my food in, so took a couple of dehydrated meals. I had beef stew and potatoes, pasta bolognese I didn't use, just got my cup in, and a long spoon, and coffees and hot chocolates. So, took the Big Agnes Rapide, long and wide, really comfortable. Blow that up. Kit Park Dream 600, probably a little bit overkill, what time of year, but I was going to get 400, but this was on sale, it was only a tenner more, so I went for 6. If it's too warm, just have it unzipped. Got a 4-class pillow from Decathlon. Find it a lot comfier than Trichology Luft I had before. And case comes off so you can wash it. Nice and comfortable. And then inside here I took a light AF mat, but I never used it, so I just left it back at the sack. Now my Kestrel, Osprey Kestrel, you used to be able to get to it front bottom, you can't with these, it's just top only. But it didn't matter because there's loads of room in tent, so I just emptied everything out outside them every night and repacked it in the morning. So that weren't an issue. Right, so the walk itself and getting there, so I got a train from Doncaster to Edinburgh, Edinburgh to Glasgow. I stopped in Glasgow on Sunday night, up early, train about 7 o'clock to Milngavie on Monday. Got to start point, did usual photos that everybody does. Had a quick chat with Andy from Backpacking UK. He was doing it over 5 days, I did it over 6, so he got up March on. I didn't see him again after it start. So day 1 was Milngavie to Millerrocky Bay campsite. Now I knew I was definitely going to camp the first night at a campsite because of camping management sketch, but I'd got no set plans for rest at camps. I presumed I'd do generally wild camps. So first day Millerrocky Bay, I got there. First time I put tent, well, I put it up in gardens. So the first time I'd put tent up to use, and one at straps come out at buckle, and I just could not get back in. I had it for about 40 minutes, getting frustrated. It finally managed to get it back in. So yeah, that first day it's nice and steady. I called in at Glencoyne Distillery, bought a miniature, and had an orange juice. Conical was shut because helicopter were taking stone in, so there were a road diversion down to Milton of Buchanan and then along road, and as you went along road you could see where helicopter were picking stone up from. Really fast, it was just in and out in no time. Got to Balmaha, went into Oak Tree Inn, got a burger and a pint. Just sat there eating, and I sees Liam, good bloke outdoors, steaming past. So I shouted him and he waved, looked a bit confused. Yeah, so then pushed on. I don't think it was much further then to Millerrocky Bay from what I remember. But yeah, it was nice to finally get tent up. I'm not very good at sleeping in tent, to be honest. I'm hoping I want to get better at it, but I wake up quite a bit. I know there's some people that can sleep straight through, but now I wake up quite a lot. But early start from Millerrocky Bay. I thought I'd try to put a shorter day in for day 2, and I was going to stop at Inversnaid. But I got there, had another burger and a pint, and it was still early, so I thought I'll push on to Beinglas campsite. Now the section before Inversnaid, Loch, everybody knows about it. It's a bit of a ball ache, up and down and what have you. But I thought that second section after Inversnaid to Beinglas were worse. It just you get to what you think's end of the loch, and you go up through woods, and then you come out and drop down to Bothy, and Loch's there again, so you're not at the end of it. I think that's when you walk past the Ardleash ferry. But yeah, you just think that Beinglas campsite's never going to come, and then all of a sudden it just pops up out of nowhere, and you're there. So I had a nice shower and a couple of pints there. And then the next day was a shorter day. Beinglas to Tyndrum. Yeah, just under 12 miles. But because of weather, it didn't feel particularly short. Again, a great shower when I got there, and I had to walk up to Tyndrum Inn. I didn't have a burger. What did I have? I had gammon, egg and chips and a sticky toffee pudding and custard. Again, because of the heat, I thought I'm going to stop at another campsite 'cause I wanted a shower, so I stopped at by the way at Tyndrum. I didn't book, just turned up, and there were plenty of room. Obviously, as it gets later on in the year, it will get busy, so booking's probably advisable if you know exactly what you're going to do. Midges weren't an issue really. As I said, weather was just unreal. So that was day 3. So day 4 was Tyndrum to, I've got some notes here. Where did we go? Tyndrum to Kingshouse. So them notes weren't very helpful. Day 4 was Tyndrum to Kingshouse. So yeah, little pull up out to Tyndrum, and then you sort of walk in between railway line and road to Bridge of Orkey, under railway line, down past hotel. Stopped there, had a couple of nice lattes. and then it's over the actual bridge, and then you start to go up and it starts to get a little bit more remote. You sort of reach a plateau with a big cairn, and you drop down to Inveroran Hotel, where I stopped for a cornetto and a oasis, and then it's pushing on over Rannochmoor, which is a bit exposed. I got Martin Offler's new album on to push me through that section, and then you reach Glencoe Ski Resort, push past that and drop down to Kingshouse Hotel, camped across from Hotel, sorry. And I was only tent there, and I thought, well, I'm sure this is where people wild camp. And then when I went over to the bar for a few pints, I could see that everybody were out on the side of the hotel, so I got that bit to myself, so it was nice and peaceful. Couple of pints, early night. And then next morning, before starting day 5, I went into the bar and had the hiker's breakfast. And then it was Kingshouse to just past Kinlochleven. So, first section, you just sort of parallel with road till you get to the bottom of Devil's Staircase. That's slow and steady. It's a bit of a pull up there, like, but just slow and steady. A big crowd at the top, so I didn't hang about. Drop down to the side, and then you come to forestry track where waterworks is at top, and it looks like what appears to be like an infinity pool, but it's part of water treatment thing. And then forestry track down is Kinlochleven. That just seemed to go on forever. That were hard work, fairly steep and hard on feet. Got into Kinlochleven and went into the tail racing. My feet were throbbing, so I took my shoes off under the table, and a woman spotted me and I got told off. I said they were about to drop off, but she didn't find it funny, so I had to put my shoes back on. And then I thought, rather than stopping in Kinlochleven, I'll push on a little bit to make the last day shorter. So as you're coming out of Kinlochleven, there's a little wood that you go through before you start climbing up, and there were a gang of lads from West Yorkshire I kept crisscrossing with, and as I walked by, one of them stuck a bottle of beer in the back of my rucksack, so I had that with my tea. That's when it rained for the first and only time, about 45 minutes of rain. I did a little slow jog shuffle on Old Military Road to try and get to old abandoned building I wanted to wild camp next to. Got tent up, sat in tent for an hour, and rain stopped, sun come out, so I got back out and cooked some food. I must have slept because before I knew it was morning like, but I think I were in tent quite a long time, but I must have had some decent kip. But I were up early-ish, got organised, had some breakfast and a coffee, dropped tent, and then I got about 12 mile to end. When I got to Fort William, I think it was about 11:30. I'd set off about 6:30. And I had a couple of pints. I rung the hotel and see if I can get an early check-in, because check-in went well 3 or 4 o'clock. And she says, let me check and I'll come back to you. Anyway, she rung back 10 minutes later and says you can come in half an hour, which were great. So the short walk down to Cruachan Hotel, nice hotel. I had possibly the longest shower I've ever had. It was just brilliant. I stood there with a shower for about an hour with a grin on my face. Had a little out bed, and then I went back up into town for a drink. Yeah, I walked that last section with a couple of lads from Midlands, Chris and Dan, and they got to get the 11:30 train back from Fort William to Glasgow, so they were marching, so that sort of spurred me on for a few mile walking with them. But yeah, it was brilliant. As far as footwear, I wore my trail runners, which worked brilliantly because you only have to set word rain and they get wet, but weather were that good, my feet were fine. Well, as far as not getting wet, they were fine. I wore down tough socks and Injinji toe liners. They work well, but I did have little toe just turned into one big blister, but it weren't really hurting. I've had trouble in the past with balls at feet burning, and I didn't get that. And I think that's down to my tape. I was taping my feet up every day with Luke OP tape, which were great because it's really sticky and it holds. But end of each day, the outside of it was as sticky as the inside, so it were all just stuck to your socks, and which made getting the Injinjis on and off even harder because they were just a sticky mess. But yeah, I'm sure that tape helped. I'm going to try it zinc oxide tape next time, see if it's any less messy than Luco. What else? So yeah, so my feet were pretty bashed up when I got home. My ankles were quite swollen. Put a photo in. One of my big toenails was black. But yeah, them trail runners worked really well, just due to weather. So the walk itself, you only have to see comments from everybody on YouTube and Facebook groups and that to know that it's a brilliant walk. Varied scenery, conditions underfoot. It's tough at times, but amount of friendly folk on trail, and encouragement and conversation you have along trail, it's great. So took some planning. Obviously it's not cheap to book everything in and whatnot, but if you're thinking of doing it, just do it, because it really is a great walk. And I'm also thankful, I'll keep mentioning it, but I'm thankful for weather, because if it had rained all week it'd have been a completely different experience. My feet, I'm sure, would have just been a right mess and I'd have been miserable. But yeah, if you don't want to carry your own tent and camp and what have you, you can book accommodation. Obviously you have to do that well in advance. You can use baggage transfer, so you only carry a day sack with a bit of food in and what have you, so you don't have to do it with all gear on your back. But yeah, do it, you'll not regret it. And I'm already planning what my next 3 hikes are going to be. I've got a few in mind. I need to stay at home for a bit now, because I went up there for 8 days, left wife and kids and dogs at home, so it was very peaceful. Until next time, see you.